ashes of war in this world.
Threw a wolf off a cliff with a spinning stick.
I am unstoppable! Which are you?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow tarnished, my fellow chain dyers of Elden Ring, as we have just so much fun with everything. Today I want to talk Ashes of War, found all over the place. As you are likely aware, you can apply them to your weaponry to gain a special power when activated and called upon that provide loads of, well, neat little uses, from kind of niche and ineffective to, I'm just gonna kill everyone around me. Seriously though, this one is ridiculous. And yes, I'll be showing you where and how to get it as part of this video. But they also change the fundamental makeup of your weapons in a lot of cases, changing which stat it scales with and the actual scaling itself. So, with so many Ashes of War to choose from, with them hidden so well around Lingrave and the areas beyond, I thought it would do to give you guys a good rounded option of 5, and technically a lot more than that too, you will see, Ashes of War to go and claim that will essentially serve you well through the entire game. They are powerful, they are robust, and they are, most importantly, incredibly fun to use. As a quick note, if you do want to duplicate an Ash of War, you can do it at the blacksmith, at the round table, so you can put them on both weapons in a dual-wielding situation, which is also quite fun to do. So we shall begin then with, well, the Warmaster. Quite near to where you first enter the world of Elden Ring, you can run up the road, then run down the road, and you'll get to the Warmaster's shack. Here you can talk to said Warmaster, and as long as you agree with what he has to say, he will offer to train you in the Ashes of War, and by train you, he means sell you them for your hard-earned runes. In any case, he has quite the selection on offer, and they're just all pretty much fine, they're okay. Some of them are very useful. For example, he sells the parry Ashes of War, so you can give a shield that doesn't naturally come with that the ability to, you know, parry. And generally, they're all worth trying out and having a play with. But the one that I want to draw you towards is the most expensive one there, and it is for good reason, because it is fantastically useful, especially for any of you that are melee focused, because this will really round out your options when it comes to approaching enemies. This is the Ash of War Stormblade. And you might have seen this used against you a little bit. It is a quick little slash that sends a hurricane of wind out to damage and strike foes at ranged. You can already see the utility in this, and it does an incredibly hefty amount of damage too. And a quick note when selecting the sub-option of a Ashes of War, the affinity granted, if you select standard, you will keep using the weapon's own natural standard properties and attribute scaling. If you choose heavy, it will tilt the weapon towards scaling more with strength. If you choose keen, it will tilt it towards scaling more with your dexterity. And if you choose quality, it will tilt it towards scaling with strength and dex in a kind of even both way, but less of each than if you went pure heavy or keen. So basically, depending on the stat build that you're going for, choose the affinity that best lends itself to which stat you're pumping. Further Ashes of War add an extra category, elemental damage and so on, that also change scaling too, and we will get to that. Next up then, we will head to the magicians, the sorcerers of sorcery out there, for a big, old Greatsword. So this then is your Carian Greatsword, applicable to everything that isn't already a colossal weapon. It basically will summon a pure magic Greatsword to smash down with colossal strength upon your enemies. Does a lot of damage, and more importantly, a lot of poise damage to get staggers and then critical attacks. In any case, this is found over in Stormvale Castle as you progress towards the first major boss. You want to head across these rooftops once you get to this Grace, drop down into the church, have a little chat with Roderick, the man who will sell you them, purchase them, and then apply them to your weapon. This will also change the scaling of your weapon to int, which is obviously fantastic for anyone who is pumping int as a magic build, as it will make your stabby a lot more effective. So this is just a lot of fun. It's so satisfying to use. Next up then, we will head to the Holy Light of Faith and the Sacred Blade. If you head to the Third Church of America over on the east, this is also where you get your Flask of Physic, and there's a Sacred Tear here, but if you go north from it, there will be a beetle for you to destroy and steal its treasured Ashes of War. This, the Sacred Blade, is absolutely fantastic. Not only will it change your weapon to scale with faith and therefore do sacred damage, which is wonderful, especially against any undeady types, it will give you the ability to first fire out a slice of pure light energy, which is a hefty amount of damage, but then coat your weapon in lingering holy radiance, which will pump its damage even more for a while longer. This thing is incredibly effective, and any of you out there that are doing a combination of both melee and faith, this is just it. This is the one. This is fantastic, and I cannot overstate how powerful and useful it is. Next up then, we're gonna bleed. If you head to Fort Height and sprint on in, run up the stairs, follow this path, you will get to a knight who will challenge you to honorable combat while covering his blade in blood. You then challenge him to dishonorable combat as you spam him to death with magical sword swipes and claim yourself at the Ashes of War Bloody Slash. This is a lot of fun. So firstly, it changes your weapon to scale with Arcane, which is fantastic if you're going for any dragon magic, or indeed are a little bit more of a roguey thief character that has pumped that for that sweet luck stat. But more than that is it generates this huge long-range arcing slash of blood at the cost of a bit of mana and a bit of your health, and it does an absolutely ludicrous amount of damage, and I'm not even pumped in any of the stats that makes this work. On a character built for it, it really will be worth the health sacrifice, because it will hit like an absolute truck. So definitely one to consider. Lastly then, let's look at the star of the show, Gravitas, and it really does have gravitas. You want to head over to the beach just south of Hegil's Lake, and once you manage to touch ground with the sands, there will be a mysterious warrior there waiting for you. Slay him with all of the ways you know how to slay, and you will claim yourself the Ashes of War Gravitas. This is incredible. It's another one for the magics out there. For the sorcerers, it will change your weapon to scaling with int, but look, it's a huge AoE pulsing explosion underneath you that kills everything around you for massive damage, and anything that does survive gets yanked towards you for a follow-up attack. If you are playing a magic but also a little bit of proper melee, a battle mage, this is going to be your star of the show. It is an incredibly effective crowd clearing spell that also positions enemies in a way that you can then follow up with another attack, and it's just supremely satisfying and effective to use. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, that is a quick little touchdown on Ashes of War, some really good gems to go after, and how indeed to go after them. Let me know if this has helped out, please like if it did, subscribe for more, and consider supporting the future of this channel on Patreon down below, as more and more Elden Ring is to come. A goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.